Salutations, friends.
Salutations.
Salutations, friends.
Salutations.
My name is Brianna Bond, otherwise known as No Ordinary Scholar.
I thought it was about time that I preached my piece. Spoiler alert, it's about time.
I'm not a betting girl. That sounds amazing.
I'm listening.
Are you ready?
Salutations, friends, and welcome to another episode of absolutely ruining any chance I ever will get at working at Disney. So, Tyler Perry, if you could hit me up, that'd be swell. And why not just kick it off by saying that while I do respect absolutely all of the work put into Marvel movies, I don't see them as being like cinematic in terms of having like crazy new, interesting, never before seen plots. To me, a superhero, like a general superhero, like happy, family-friendly superhero movie has like 3 or 4 options for a plot, and you just kind of have to switch out the like characters and the villains and names and stuff like that. What I do think that they absolutely strive and are just so amazing at, and this is really where I have to disagree with Scorsese, is the character development. Like, they aren't necessarily there to give you a new, never before seen, like, plot, especially since they are working off of the comics, which these were new when the comics were made, so good for them. But I think that what they do with the characters and the development and the relationships with one another throughout the entire series is so unbelievable. It's so well done. I also like the Easter eggs they throw around. That takes so much effort. I know, I'm working on it. I'm doing it for my book series. But like, I've generally only seen like 6 Marvel movies. I can tell you the list right here. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, which I saw Far From Home after Endgame, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, and I cried watching Tony and Peter say goodbye to each other in Endgame. I was dying. And I've not seen like most of the Iron Man movies. I've missed most of his character arc, but still, the way they're able to do those relationships with each other in those movies is so well, and I think that's really where the focus should be. That's but I could talk, if you wanted me to talk more about that, I can do that on Instagram. But that's not what we're here for. We are here on part 2-ish of the kind of janky setup to see what's going on, not with the superheroes, but with the space heroes. Completely different thing. So, Star Wars has caused a lot of discussion and controversy, and if we ignored like the existence of Jar Jar Binks, then the biggest issue people have is with episode 8 of this saga. Let's have a little discussion. So, because what we're gonna do with this is the same thing we did with Warmonger. We are going to learn from the mistakes of others. And I would like to just point this out. I don't come from these, like, in these videos as like, oh my god, I'm the best writer ever, you should listen to everything I have to say. So the position I'm coming from is, I guess I will say intermediate writer. That is as low as I would go. But I would say I'm like an intermediate to advanced level writer. But I am for sure like an advanced level or expert level of a reader. I spend so much time reading. I am able to understand. I've read so many things over the course. Even there was a period of time where I just didn't have time to read. And I didn't have like the energy to read. That was honestly the thing that suffered the most throughout my depression, was my love for reading. But I've read so many things. When I watch something like a movie or anything like that, I'm specifically looking at those same plot point stuff like that you would get from a book. And this is where I'm coming from when I'm comparing what the good things and the bad things are in a story, stuff like that. So there's 2 sides of it. There's the reader and then there is the writer. And those are the things I'm combining when I'm doing this video. Here. Got it. So, when you are doing this, when you write a story, you have like plot diagram. We've all seen them in school. It starts off, I don't know what side of the screen this is gonna come up on because we're doing it on my phone right now, and I don't know, man. So we're just gonna do it from my left. So here, you're gonna start off here. Bottom here is the exposition, the tone setting, introducing characters, stuff like that is going to be at the exposition. And you have the rising action, which is where you start getting into the plot. Climax is the big major thing that happens. Following action, and then resolution. Following action is like the fallout from the climax, and then resolution is just how the story ends. Tie that nice bow on it. And these things are even more important when you have like a series where the plot is extended and this diagram is extended throughout the whole thing. So what you want to do is you want to have like these things over when you're doing like the exposition. In the exposition, you want to tease some stuff. Give like some people like a little hinty of what's important. Just like a hinty, and these like how much you shove this in their face is going to depend on how much of a surprise you want it to be at the end. So you give them a little hinty. Throughout the rising action, you throw out some tensions that are going to be caused by this major thing. Then you're going to have you need that to be a part of the major conflicts of the story, and then you'll like end it, have the resolution tied the bow on it. That's how that works. If we want, so let's get even more specific. Let's actually explain what I'm talking about here. And to do that, we are going to actually look at the original trilogy. If you are worried about spoilers, I really appreciate that you come to me to introduce you to the world of Star Wars. Thank you. It does truly make me feel good about myself. So, in the story, Luke and Leia in the original trilogy are siblings, but they don't know it yet. And so they gotta figure it out because it's some important information. Instead of saying, "Hey, we look like oddly similar. We look so much alike. It's weird. We almost look like we're twins. Crazy." Instead of saying something like that, they passed off this intense amount of connection that the two characters have, and they mistake it for sexual attraction for a while. We can actually discuss this more. Like, I have a Little Mermaid video that I did. We can discuss that more there. So they mistake it for sexual attraction, and long story short, things get real awkward. They do find out about their relation. That connection is used to save Luke's life, and their knowledge of, when they find out that they are siblings, knowing that helps to bring peace to their father. Here is the mistake. Oh God, here's the mistake. I'm sorry, I'm leaning in. I can't see what the time is on the phone because it's like a white number over a white wall. It's stress. So here is the mistake that Disney made in episode 8. So, and like as I'm describing this, remember that description of a good story. Just keep it in mind. So, in episode 8, we are introduced to this Mary Sue character, this character that seems to be like super powerful out of nowhere. They are surprise Jedi. Like, we didn't know I think there weren't supposed to be any Jedi left. This person's like, surprise Jedi, oh my God, crazy. And they were also under the impression that they were an orphan, or well, they're not under the impression, they were orphaned. So they also don't know who their parents are. And there's a lot of stuff like poking at the fact that we don't know who their parents are, and we're trying to figure out who their parents are, and that is part of the character's arc, is trying to figure out who their parents are. And there are also a lot of things hinting in different directions to try and tease, like, oh my God, is this the thing? Are they like related? There was the fact, I believe, Leia and the person we're talking about, Rey, they are the only characters that were allowed to keep their British accents for this movie, so that was something that was hinted at. Luke Skywalker's wand calls to Rey, which you might say it's Luke's child, but at the same time, it was Obi-Wan's lightsaber first. We get to, there's so much built around this whole idea. We get to the second movie, they go off to the spirit cave and they're told that their parents are nobodies, and based on the way that it's done, you're supposed to take it seriously like it is fact. I completely disagree. I still think that Mace Windu's the father. I mean, like, let's just say, like, usually her lightsaber's blue, and then we see in the trailer lightsaber red and blue made purple, just throwing it out there. So, I'm also going to give the second example of, like, a poor storytelling aspect of this movie but I'm literally the only person that did this. I genuinely think I'm the only person that had any issue with this, but I'm still going to talk about it because that's what this show is for. So, imagine, in the Harry Potter series, in the last battle of Deathly Hallows, book or movie, we don't judge here. Very last battle, Harry comes up to face Voldemort out of nowhere, pulls out a gun, shoots him in the face. While I agree that that's how he should have been handled in the first place, I don't think, like, I would have been livid if out of nowhere there is one gun in this entire 7-book, 8-movie series, and it comes out of nowhere, and that's going to end the entire, like, war with Voldemort and his Death Eaters. I would have been livid. So, in this book, in episode 8, we are introduced to this, like, mind projection, like, ability that's never been seen in any of the other movies. It was not even in the first movie of this trilogy. And that was used ended up being used to just save the day at the end. And while it was, like, shown throughout this one movie because of the trilogy aspect of the series, that was super frustrating to me. Here is the Disney original problem. And yes, I do think I was smart for thinking of that title. I know I don't have a lot of the other titles here. I'm not gonna have any of the screens or any of the, like, jokes. Day-Day's not here. If you want all of those fixins, though, go over to NoOrdinaryScholar.com and you can see them there. But anyway, so the issue that ended up happening was J.J. Abrams, who was the person that worked on, I believe, all of the Star Wars stories until episode 8. He parted way with Disney, and they brought in someone new. Unfortunately, that person was just completely bent on saying no to every fan theory there was out there, no matter how valid. Some of them were valid, so we ended up getting a story that was in no way related to what was being built and what was being set up. If you are going to, this is where I get roll mom. If you are going to take anything away from this video, understand that surprise does not equal good. That is not how you read it. So there are 3-ish, if you're including my thing-ish, there's that many number of issues wrong with this kind of approach. One, you are not putting together a story. You are mashing together whatever scraps you can find, and you're using consistent characters throughout. And like I said, that's not how you write a book. 2, even for the people, if you were not the person that was out there doing all this research on Star Wars, reading all of the books, watching all the fan videos, like pausing it frame by frame so you can see whatever hints were in the movie and the trailers. If you were not that person, you still watch them. If you're here, you probably still watch them. Like, if you watch them, you still watch these movies. And you watch them to be told that most of the information you were getting meant nothing. So you watch that first movie that was full of a whole lot of nothing that meant nothing to absolutely anything. And that is a waste of your time. That is why it's so frustrating. It's like, yes, you just want to be super cool, you want to be super surprising. Like, this is why people don't tend to like it was all a dream idea, because it's a waste of your time. And I would be just as upset. I was just as upset. I wasted so much time. It's a beautiful movie, but, like, why am I not just looking up images on Google instead of watching 2 to all of them 6, maybe 8 hours of stuff where only half of it, only the last movie really is going to mean anything to this story. Now, getting on to my personal problem with this one, the one that only I care about, the hologram thing. My issue with this is it's lazy. Like, you as a writer should be able to use the tools of your world to get yourself out of the problem you put yourself into. And I know there's gonna be some people who are like, oh my god, but like no, he was just brought in for another movie. Then we'll actually get to that in a second. But like, there's some ideas where like, hey, like, there's some small stuff, there's some small things that are less annoying. Like, if you're out journeying, venturing somewhere, and if you went out to find something, like a material, or like maybe if you had found that one book she was reading and that had some information in it that could be useful, fine. But this is a skill that only 2 characters in this universe, both of which are now dead, have ever been able to. Like, you created 2 characters that could do this mental like projection thing. You killed both of them in the same movie, and no other character's ever been seen to do something like this before. That is just such an astounding and such a massive skill for people to have in this world. That's not like saying, oh my god, hey, like, we found this magical item that is poisonous, we can try and poison him. No, you're saying, oh my god, guys, I woke up and I'm just God now. Isn't that crazy? It's so frustrating. I feel like it's such lazy writing. You brought these problems upon yourself. Use the tools that you have given yourself in this world and what is set up for you to try and get yourself out of it. Think a little bit about it. Don't just be like, it's gonna be done. Like, oh hey, and then like it was all a dream. Done. No stress about that at all. And again, back to the idea of, hey, maybe this was someone who, like, it's not his fault, he was just thrown into the middle of it. If you do not have the skills to be able to figure your way out of a world someone else has created, then you are not the person for the job. Like, J.J. Abrams is going to clean up this mess that he didn't create, but they're this person for the job. They're a better storyteller. That is your responsibility to do. Disney has had to come out and apologize for the mistake of this movie. How can you tell me that, oh my god, it's not his fault? No, it's his fault. It's also Disney's fault they did not hire someone skilled enough for this. But at the same time, like, you are not skilled enough for this. Acknowledge that. If you are skeptical at all about any of this, that's fine. That's what we're here for. We're here to think, to ask questions. You can ask questions down below. You can ask questions like down below on my Instagram, on the, like, everywhere this is going to be. You can ask more questions. And bonus points, go on Disney Plus, #NotSpawned, and go watch the first 8 movies, and I'll see you at the premiere. It's been, and scene. There we go, we'll do this. So that was fun. I did really like this episode. It was fun to make, it was fun to write. I've been actually wanting to write it for a while, but I was like, hey, let's do it. Let's do it around the time the next one's gonna come out. See what the plans are for it. It's gonna be great. Thank you for listening to me rant and rave about all of my issues and theories in life. If you want to keep hearing more about my rants, check out my Instagram at Firestorm232343. It's gonna be cool. We can hang out over there, do some shout-outs. If you really want to help, and you really want to help with this like janky setup that I've got going on, please go check out my Patreon account over there. You can support me for, I believe, literally as little as $2 a month. And from that, you can help me get my computer fixed, and I can keep working, make the videos not look as janky, and I can make books better. Over there, you get some cool rewards. You get videos early access, You get like videos for NOS, my blogs. Hopefully this will stop shaking soon. You also get notes from the books I read. You will get the first chapters of the book I write early before they are published, and you will be the first people I ask for anyone to do some beta reads on my books. Maybe on some scripts if you feel like it. Who knows? But that's all going to be linked down below. Until next time, valedictions, friends.